I used to stress about where I should be by now, seeing that I'm in my 30s, I'm still trying to figure things out while I'm healing. I had to take a step back and really tell myself that it's not about my age, it's where I'm going. I'm a millennial, okay? So it does seem like things are moving so fast. But I just feel like me especially, not me especially, but like my age group in my 30s as a millennial, for the past half a decade, things have been so different. The amount people are spending on like even luxury items these days. People used to buy houses or put down payment on houses back then. Things are changing so fast. It's like the thinking mode in me would constantly think I was behind. And at the same time, when you're healing from things that broke you, it is so hard to do both. I really had to pump the brakes a bit and remind myself that I'm only human. So much is happening around me, so much things that are in my control, a lot of things that are not in my control. I may not have been ready for certain things, but I'm preparing. For a lot of us, especially in my age group, us in our 30s, us millennials, I like to speak for us because I grew up in that time. A lot of us, we grew up believing that success was in a certain timeline. You had to go to school, you had to get a house, get married at a certain time. Like you just had to follow this certain plan, okay? And when you don't follow that plan, you could start to feel so overwhelmed. You can start treating yourself badly. You just don't see the vision of where you're trying to go. But we have to remember so much has changed since then. A lot of the things that we see happening now, so different from when we were growing up. So different. Times have changed. The way I have to even worry about my children now compared to the way I grew up. And I was pretty sheltered too. But to me, there was even so much more trust in the world. I can go outside and play, ride my bike far. And we had no cell phones. Now it's like, even though there's more technology, there's more craziness going on in the world around me that I have to even put my forefront worry as, okay, even if I'm setting my life up this way, I still have to watch over my children even more in this crazy world. Like sometimes I sit and I talk to my daughter, I'm like, how far I used to walk to school by myself? And sometimes the kids even at her school will be like, why does your mother walk you to school and you live so close? That is just in me to protect, and I feel like a lot of us, that's what we do as parents. We're growing up in different times, so our worry is different, our plans are different because the world is different, the things around us is different, the things that we see. We have our phones in our hands most of the time these days, whereas back in the day we had no phone. My brothers had pagers. When you really look at it, you're not behind, you're just in a different timeline. We're living in a different lane. What used to be the norm back then just ain't it anymore. Even the way I observe things these days and my discernment when it comes to just everything around me, I get so annoyed. I just feel like everybody is just on this weird bandwagon that, okay, that's what I need to do, I'ma do that. That's how, like, for example, when I watch Pop the Balloon and then I see a lot of them, they're talking about God. I know a lot of people are searching. I'm even in my Bible more than I used to be. I ain't no perfect Christian, but I feel like a lot of people, they need to understand that it's not a rush to think you know it all even about God and then come on a show like that and come shame people because you think, oh, you're holier than thou. Even the way people are growing, it just looks like a whole facade. It just looks like a whole lie to me. So I just feel sometimes I'm trapped in this world where there's just so much wannabe and fakeness going on just compared to where I'm coming from, where things just seem more real. and more authentic. It's even harder to start over when you are surrounded by people who think they get it and they really just don't get it. A lot of the times I'm overthinking, thinking I'm so behind, but I'm just surrounded in a world where even people's mindset and the way they even glorify God is just, it's strange, and it can come off as unauthentic. It could come off as not real. I mean, it could be real, but it's sounding forced sometimes. When you don't have it all together in your 30s, even in your 40s, it just makes you feel like you're missing out. Not only does it make you feel like you're missing out, it can really make you lose out a lot about what's really going on around you. Like, you're not actually really living your life. A whole 5 years can pass you by because you're just so worried about being at a certain space where you actually didn't take the time to actually live, enjoy your life, create moments that you could go back and remember. Miss out on your children who have been trying to spend time with you, but because you're so busy trying to catch up to everybody else, you're missing out on what's really important. To me, there's more of a shock when it comes with that, especially if you turn around and be like, oh, my kid is getting so big already, but where did the time go? Yeah, where did the time go? It went where it wasn't supposed to go. And then you're just still in the same space. If you're actually moving at your own pace, you start to take things day by day. Don't forget about all the important stuff, but actually prioritize your day properly. Then you can actually reach there faster. These days I realize when I just step back and I take a deep look into me and just pivot my way better and prioritize my life better and my day better and just breathe a little bit more and stop overthinking, I actually get so much more done. And I realize it's just a real big waste of time to think I'm supposed to be somewhere just because it looks like I'm supposed to be there. Just because my peers have got there. I have peers that didn't even make it to this age. I still have a chance to get where I'm going. God still has a purpose here for me. I still have a story, so I don't want to waste it away overthinking that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Who am I to know? My life is in God's hands. Healing in your 30s to me is just way more intentional than healing even in your 20s. To me, my 20s was just more exciting, more doing. So even if I was trying to heal back then, it wouldn't be as intentional as it is for me right now. I am building habits that just feel more safe to me. I'm not trying to fix everything overnight. I am just more at peace, and even when things happen, I actually can step back and I can see, okay, what am I supposed to learn in this situation? In this situation that caused me to even act out of character, just feel like I'm not my best. Like, what did I learn from it? And what can I do to make, when this situation happens again, to actually deal with it better? I am more aware of myself now that I'm in my 30s, even navigate my life a bit better. I feel like I'm choosing peace on purpose. No matter what the situation is, if it's causing me my peace, it's just not worth it. No matter how much it means to me, my peace comes first. When you're healing, it can teach you to stop performing and just be your best. When I notice something so amazing, I just feel like I've crossed like a certain finish line, even though it's not finished. I just, you know, when you're on a game, I just feel like I've crossed such an amazing level, even right now in part of my healing. Who is trying to perform for people to try to even seek any type of validation? Not I. Life can get really exhausting when you're just stuck at one stage of your life and you're not growing, and you're trying to reach your goals, and you're trying to find your purpose, and you're just trying to get your life together. It can get really exhausting trying to reach this finish line. You know what the finish line is? The finish line is death. Everybody's story is different. I say this all the time. Your story, my story, your neighbor's story, your best friend's story, your haters, though, if you hate on somebody, their story. It doesn't even make sense to hate on anybody. Their story is different from yours. If it's one thing I noticed about myself, and I'm not even just saying this to make it sound like this is what it is and it's not. I've never hated on anybody. I can honestly say that I've never looked at somebody and was like, oh my gosh, how dare you? How do you even say it? Like, how do you even start a hating conversation? I think it's because of the things like I've been through, where I've seen people actually deal with me about certain things that they thought about me and just made up a scenario in their head. I never wanted to be that person. If anything, I've been inspired by people. I think that's where people need to turn their hate energy into, is just be inspired. A lot of people, they really just need to heal, especially when you feel like you're behind in life. You only feel like you're behind because your brain has just been wired to think that. Where are you running to? Where are you really running to? Where are you really trying to get to? Racing to your death? It doesn't even make sense. You want to understand where you're going. You want to be better. That makes more sense, right? It's not about proving your growth. It's about living in it quietly, very quietly. There are people and things out there to get you to just snatch certain things away from you, and that's why you feel like you're behind. Sometimes it's just too loud. Sometimes what you're doing, you're sharing too much. People know too much about you. You gotta stay low, heal, right? Create habits that help you get where you're going so you don't feel like you're behind, because you're really not behind. Everything happens in its own time. Somebody can get rich at 26, somebody can get rich at 40, 45, 50, but it's also quicker to lose the things that are important into you than it is to gain it. You don't want to think that you're supposed to have it all. If you're not ready for certain things, you can lose it. When I look at it, I'm just like, maybe I wasn't ready mentally, with the way that I have to heal and fix myself and just grow and understand more. I feel like I've had discernment, but I don't feel like I've always had the right habits or the right people around me, or I just feel like I had so much more to learn too. And I'm still learning. And even though I feel like I may not be at where I need to be, I've grown enough to understand, what, there's reasons behind it, and it's okay. You have to let go of timelines. You have to be in the moment that you're in. It feels so much lighter when you just let all of that go. Just free yourself up of thinking you need to be somewhere and focus on the journey and what you're learning in that moment. There's so much beauty ahead. It is so beautiful to see yourself just bloom into something that you always knew you could be. But even that story behind it just really can mold you. If you're in that phase of your life where you just feel like you're not where you need to be, life is just passing you by, you're just too old, you don't got that house, you ain't married yet, you ain't finished school, you ain't got that car that you really want, just know that you're still blooming. You're just blooming differently. Great things take time. Your 30s are not about arrival, they're about awareness. You actually start building a more grounded version of yourself, a more grounded version of success, peace, self-love, and clarity. It's about just learning you. And sometimes you could be stuck in certain environments that, are just not helping you grow. In certain relationships with people, sometimes your surroundings, they're not there to help you grow. The people around you could just make you feel like you're more in a cage, and you're caged in, and you don't really have the tools because they ain't got the tools. You ain't got the wisdom, because how are you supposed to learn something from somebody who ain't growing either? Like, sometimes you just gotta change so much around you, and you're there thinking, oh my gosh, I am so much older, I ain't got nowhere. But what's happening around you? Are you locked up in a cage? If you've made it this far in the video, that means so much to me. And if you are feeling that you're just so late you're so behind. I want you to know that growth doesn't expire. You're not late. You're just learning how to move at your own pace. You don't want to count your years. You want to count the peace that you've gained. I hope this video really helps you, and if it did, don't forget to like this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and you can also check out one of these 2 videos at the top of your screen. If you really like this one, you'll probably be interested in one of those. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.